We've seen disaster films like San Andreas or Dante's Peak or even The Impossible, where people had to survive earthquakes, volcanoes, or tsunamis. So, how does one survive a disaster on a fjord in Norway? Maybe like a fjord. A landlocked body of water? Really? There could be disasters on there? Believe it or not, yes. And it can be pretty damn terrifying. As we discover, I don't know if it's a true story or not, but I'm sure it must have been. The film The Wave begins with a recap of an event, a tsunami event that took place in a Norwegian fjord in the early 20th century. And it was a devastating event where basically a landslide caused a tsunami that basically just swept through the fjord from one end to the other and just caused devastation and killed many. So this can happen. Landlocked bodies of water can actually have massive natural disasters. So, the film The Wave basically recounts what would happen if in present day a landslide occurs that sets off a massive tsunami. Now basically what a tsunami is that there's a mass displacement of water, and the water obviously has to go somewhere. But as the water is moving outwards from the source, it reaches land masses, and as it hits the land, it just starts going up the land mass, which is what we end up with the tsunami, is that giant wave is rising with the land, which is why how in this case in the film, when the tsunami hits, and the people have to get up at least 80 meters above water in order to be safe. So basically that's what the situation is. It's a ticking time bomb, much similar to, like, say, Dante's Peak, where a geologist shows up to or a volcanologist shows up to examine the volcano and discovers that the bomb is about to go off. Well, in a similar fashion here, a geologist makes a discovery that there are triggers happening that look like is going to lead to a landslide. And unfortunately, the end results and the research that was done basically came to the conclusion just a little too late. And what was really cool about this is that the tsunami hits at night. So basically, maybe this is an economical thing to help with the budget, because if you've seen The Impossible, you saw what a tsunami looks like during the day. Hell, you just have to go on YouTube and just look up the Sumatra tsunami and see the devastating and amazing looking footage of that tsunami that swept through, or even the one that occurred in Japan during the earthquake. But this one takes place at night, and the visual effects are pretty solid for what they did. But this movie is not about the wave itself, but more about the build up to and the aftermath and the attempts to survive. It's almost like it's The Impossible light, but it doesn't achieve the level of drama that film had. Like I said, it has decent effects, decent production value, and it's a pretty compelling story when you consider that this is basically about a huge lake that basically has a tsunami run through it. Not to be dismissive of it, because it's just something you don't really hear much about, and it's like, when you realize it's like, oh, that is possible, you're like, that could be a pretty scary situation to be in. So The Wave, I would have to give 3 stars out of 5. It's a pretty entertaining disaster film and pretty engaging story. It doesn't achieve the greatness of like, say, The Impossible. It does tend to get a little melodramatic here and there, but overall it's still a pretty engaging disaster film that probably is better than many of the bigger budget American disaster film releases have been. So, The Wave, 3 stars out of 5. So if you like this review, please hit that like button below. Have you heard of The Wave? Have you seen any of the tsunami footage I mentioned on YouTube? Please check them out. And have you heard about this film? So please let me know in the comments below. If you haven't already subscribed to my channel, please do so you can stay on top of my reviews as they come in. So until next time, we'll see you at the movies.